as I spoke about it on the first day of trial, the result of the trial should be open to public scrutiny, and people should have confidence in the outcome of the trial. I think we can all agree on that, and it's just a shame that irresponsible statements are being made. The business about people not being identified as victims. How would you like to be put on trial for a crime? Judge introduced the case to the jury by introducing you as the defendant and the person who is accusing you as the victim. And then throughout the trial, have all the references to the complaining witness as being the victim. Is it so difficult to just use the term complaining witness instead of prejudging what the jury is here to determine as to whether there's a victim and whether there was a crime committed? And finally, I'm now reading about how bizarre and unusual it was to have the defendant pick the numbers out of the tumbler yesterday. And I would admit that I don't know that there's a large number of courts that do that, maybe not any. I do it because of an incident that I had in a case I tried in Racine. Oh, I'm going to say I estimated 20 years ago it could have been less than that. It could have been more. But it was a big case. I think it was a murder case, but I'm not sure. And there was a black defendant, and there were 13 jurors, one of whom was black. And when the clerk, the government official, drew the name out of the tumbler, it was a black, the only black. There was nothing wrong with it. It was all okay. But what do they talk about? Optics nowadays? Is that the word for things? That was a bad optic, I thought. I think people feel better when they have control. So ever since that case, I have, ever since that case, I've had a universal policy of having the defendant do the picks. It had nothing to do with anybody's race or anything like that. And I never had a complaint about it before. In fact, I haven't had a complaint about it here. But some people seem to be dissatisfied with that, and people who want to undermine the result of the trial. So that's today's statement on that subject.
All of that, Your Honor, is why I do my best to avoid reading anything anybody's writing out there about this case, because we know what happens in here,
right.
and they don't.
Well,